Is emotional instability endemic to the American way of life, or is social media and the internet connectivity driving it? Let me make my case for what I see has happened here. Prior to social media, there was a large glut of emotionally unwell people in America, right? They go to work, they go home, they're homebodies. Some of them are just home all day on disability, but they're not interacting with that many people and their voice isn't very heard. Social media comes along. Who are the people that are online the most? The people who are home all the time. Who are the people who are managing online communities as managers and moderators and internet janitors and so forth? The people who are home all the time. Who are the people who are home all the time? The emotionally unwell people. So, the internet, social media, has been managed by emotionally unwell people since its inception, basically. And this has influenced all the things that come on it. And I think you are now seeing it as it is manifested in American political discussion. And I'd go a step further. I think it rules. I think emotionally unhealthy people rule American political discussion online currently because it is based on literal insanity. Go into any online political discussion and find me a sane and reasonable person. I challenge you. It will be difficult because what you will be greeted by is utter insanity on both sides now. They do not live their beliefs. Nay, nay. It's like a horse. They just say the words to belong to the group. And the words have gotten more and more extreme. People aren't living out their beliefs. They don't see their beliefs as something they have to follow and do to hold these beliefs. They just say the words. And the words have gotten more and more extreme. And this has influenced American politicians who see these large groups of people saying all this madness, so they say the madness too. And there are quite a few political decisions in America that have been made where I'm like, ooh, that's a product of an unwell mind. But I do think that this is what has happened. That the internet and social media and all this stuff was managed by emotionally unhealthy people so much that it has permeated the entirety of the American online consciousness, even like what is synonymous with the internet: obsession, spamming, trolling, stalking. These things are synonymous with the internet. Well, why? Because the people who are online the most and who have the loudest voice on the internet are all emotionally unwell. And I think it is making the American public at large further emotionally unwell than it actually is. I think it is exacerbating emotional instability in a way that is no longer healthy. Look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. Well, if you want to listen to those judges, but I think this is a actual issue that people really aren't looking at yet. But I do think it should be addressed because both political parties right now, I see, are taking crazier and crazier stances. I lost my train there for a second. But I think people are taking more and more absurd positions that they themselves have no intention of ever living out. It is just, this is the more extreme version of my beliefs, and I want to be taken as one of the good guys in my group. So I say the hardest line stance as I can. And Granted, they have no connection to reality, but that doesn't stop the people from saying them because this is no longer reality. This is the internet and this is madness. I think that is a lot of what's gone on. Maybe I'm wrong. I do think that the internet is kind of like an emotional release valve and allows people to express themselves, and it has brought down a lot of acts of violence. Like the world was much more violent in the 70s and the 80s. Um, that's certainly true, but I'm not sure if it's worth it, especially if it ends up driving everyone crazy or making everyone very emotionally unwell, because that is what I am seeing more and more is people are unwell. Take it for what it's worth.